Doing. So I'm just getting ready to go live everywhere. Everywhere. So hello. As always, I will be multitasking a little bit. I'm just going to move this a bit. Ooh, panning shot. So that I can be live on Instagram and LinkedIn and Facebook and everywhere. Because today I want to show you and talk to you all about one of LinkedIn's biggest secrets. Well, is it? Is it a big secret? Certainly, I don't think a lot of people talk about this because they want you to create more content, right? But imagine if I told you that you could reach your ideal client without producing even one piece of content. Oh, how amazing would that be? How would that change your life if you could show up on a social platform and not have to have spent hours on Canva or writing to your heart's content or creating anything? You don't have to even have your makeup on, fix your hair. You don't have to do any of that, okay? Because there is something that you can do on LinkedIn that doesn't require any of that. I think that's why I love it so much. I mean, obviously, here I am going live from everywhere, and I do love it. I love sharing my knowledge. I love talking. Yeah, well, anybody who knows me knows that is no big secret, right? But I also love encouraging the businesses that I work with to grow and to know that they can do it somewhere like LinkedIn where they don't have to turn themselves into like some um, version of perfection, that can be unachievable, right? And like we all have lives, so let's get on with them and and let's take the right action. So I'm going to share three things that you can do on LinkedIn to reach more audience. Does that sound good? And number three is juicy. Okay, number three is juicy. I'm going to share exactly what happened to me last week. And so stick around for number three because it's super cool. And also, I have something for you that I'm going to share. Okay, I'm going to share later. Okay, so stick around. I've got something for you, not just advice, but I've got something actually for you, a little present. Okay, so let's get to number one, shall we? Number one of the things that you can do on LinkedIn to reach more of your ideal audience. So it's really simple. And I'm going to tap into your imagination here a little bit. I want you to think about someone who you would consider really attractive. Someone who you think is super attractive in real life now, okay? And so let me tell you a couple of stories. One story is about a man who I met when I was 17. I was in Donegal. He was a chef. And myself and my best friend went. I don't know what possessed my parents to let this happen, but they did. Fair play to them. It was great. They let us go to work in a hotel. My dad knew the owner, so off we went. I live in Dublin, so it's like back then, back in the 80s, it was like a 13-hour drive, which is ridiculous, but the roads were bad. Okay, so off we went to Donegal. And there was this guy, his name was Shan, and he was so attractive. He was so gorgeous. He was so interesting. He was going out with one of the other chefs who shared a house with us. And when we came back to Dublin, and we showed our friends the pictures of everybody, and we were like, this guy is so gorgeous. They were like, him? They couldn't see it. They just could not understand what was the attraction, okay? And quite often with incredibly attractive people, they may not be actually like typically physically attractive. But quite often, tell me in the comments if you know this to be true. Quite often with an attractive person, they give you their attention. When you speak, they are listening actively. They really consider what you say. They're not like listening on like a superficial level. They are actively listening to you, okay? Does that ring any bells? Think about someone who you think is really attractive. Tell me in the comments if you are like, oh yeah, because that's my number one thing that you can do on LinkedIn, so you don't have to spend any time producing content. In this example, now that's not to say that you never produce content, because content is important to build your credibility in your brand. But if you're like, oh God, I can't be on LinkedIn because I don't have enough content, that is simply a story that you are making up. Because my number one tip for listening is LinkedIn's biggest secret is you need to listen. You need to show your ideal client or any organizations that you're following that you want to work with that you find them interesting. You need to show up and listen to their content. You need to like it. You need to put an interesting, thoughtful comment underneath it. Not like, oh, this is great. Like anybody can do that, right? So I want you to ask yourself, how are you paying attention to people on LinkedIn? And I'm going to tell you a story, another one. So many people say that in the online business world, you have to have like 10 interactions with your client before they buy from you. I call bullshit on that. Bullshit, right? I'm going to tell you a story about one of my clients, Sarah. If she sees this video, she will most likely roll her eyes because she's heard it a couple of times. And I'm sure she'll comment to go, this is true. So Sarah and I worked together, oh my goodness, last year now, I think, the beginning of last year. And how it came about was she showed up on LinkedIn. She had just launched her coaching business. And I had no coaching like people in my network when I started helping coaches. Okay. So my background was advertising. I had a whole network of advertising, publishing, web developers, graphic designers in my network. So I had very few actual coaches. Okay. But I think I started following more coaches. And Sarah posted that she had just started, and she shared her logo and she shared her business name, and she said, I don't know what I'm doing, but here we go, right? And so I was like, oh, congratulations, right? Good for you. That's so exciting. Then she shared that she had an Instagram account, but she had no followers, right? So I went, tell you what, I'm going to go on over to Instagram and I'm going to follow you. So over I went onto Insta and I found Sarah, and I was laughing because she had her flipping profile set to private. And I was like, here, come on now. So I requested to follow. And then I went back over to Instagram and I went, now here, come on now, Sarah. You've got your settings to private. How are you ever going to show up as a business if you've got it set to private, but I'm following you anyway? And I don't know whether she chuckled at that or not, but she changed it to public. And then next thing I know, she attended one of my webinars, and then she signed up as a client. So that is like maybe 4 touches. But I meant it. I was intentional. I really actively listened to where she was in her journey. I knew what she needed. And I had the credibility and authority because of my experience, right? You can do this too. You don't need 10 touches. Bull, 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 right? You don't. You just need to be a human. You just need to peel back your narcissistic social media self and leave it at the door. You need to turn on your listening ears and your, as I say to the kids, and your looking eyes. You need to show up and be kind, be interested, and listen on LinkedIn. And it is so powerful. Okay, it's so powerful. Number 2, stay to number 3. Number 3 is going to blow your mind. Okay, number 2 is LinkedIn polls. OMG, LinkedIn polls. Okay, they can help you listen more intently if that be possible, right? And let me tell you how. You can use LinkedIn polls for engagement, for fun. You can use LinkedIn polls to actually tell you what your ideal client wants from you. How cool is that? How many other social platforms do that with ease? You know, on Instagram, I mean, I adore Instagram. It has polls, but you've got to really do them in your stories. You know, you have to really understand like how to use the grid, the profile, the highlights, the stories. You've got to really, the reels. There's so much to it. On LinkedIn, no. You can just go create a post, like go to other, choose poll, and Bob's your uncle. I have used a simple poll to get market research about one of the products that I created. It was a how to attract more clients with your social media. Okay. So back, I think it was the beginning of 2022, I had a one-to-one service, and my instinct was that people needed more help with systems. Like and this is so funny because AI hadn't even emerged to the extent that it has now. Obviously, there was AI back then. In fact, I was using some of it, but it hadn't emerged as much as it has now. Okay. Nonetheless, I was just kind of grappling with what my people really needed to grow their coaching businesses, right? My instinct was that they needed systems help, that they needed to create a life of freedom where they made more money, but they weren't trading, time for money, money for dollars, all that jazz, right? So I thought, okay, what they need is like content that converts. And I'm going to really lean into like the automation of welcome emails and lead magnets and bibbidi bib, right? Thankfully, I did a LinkedIn poll. And I asked, do you need more help with your content? And I was thinking, no. All right. Do you need, I can't even remember, help with your systems? And then there was one other thing that has escaped me for now. And then I said, other, please comment. Well, everyone voted for content. And I was like, what? Okay. And that helped me so much because I changed my program and I adjusted it to really help my clients to create sensational content that really lands with their clients. And I could not have done that if I had not used LinkedIn polls. And this is the beauty of polls. The people who actually told me what they needed help with, guess what? I could reach out to them and say, first of all, thank you for helping me to understand better what your needs are. And secondly, I'm actually going to create something exactly like what you asked for. And, would you mind if I reach out to you and share it with you? I'm going to do a webinar on it called How to Create Content That Converts. And boom, my first webinar was born, all from listening, all from using LinkedIn's super secrets to listen. Okay, and guess what? Did I have to go stand in front of a camera to produce that content? No, I didn't. Boop-bitty boop-bitty boop, I typed it. Did I have to spend hours deliberating about a script or what I was going to say, or hooks, or pacing, or any of that nonsense, which is important when you're showing up in video? But imagine you could just do that. Find the people who want to work with you. Oh my goodness, wouldn't that be so much easier? Yes, yes, it is. Okay, thank you for staying. The people who want to hear about number 3. If you're on LinkedIn, it honestly is so going to change what you do. It's honestly sensational. Because so many people say to me, oh, Elaine, I don't know whether I can find high ticket clients on LinkedIn. Oh, how can I get visible enough? I don't have enough followers. It's okay for you. You've got over whatever it is now. I can't remember, but let's say 1,500, but I think it's near to 2,000. It doesn't matter. But a lot of people think, okay, the reason that you can find clients on LinkedIn is because you've loads of followers. Not true. Not true. That is just the BS of bro marketing that has been peddling this notion that you have to have loads of followers in order to succeed. And that's just nonsense. Okay. It's utter bullshit. It's, how shall I put this? It's vanity metrics is what it is. Okay. Think about it. If you have even 50 people standing outside a bakery, God, wouldn't you be delighted if you were the owner, right? So, people don't have time to follow or watch things anymore unless they're interested, okay? So think about that. Think about it. You don't need hundreds of followers or thousands of followers. And this is why I so love LinkedIn so much. Do you know how you can actually reach more people on LinkedIn? You can share somebody else's content. Not in tell me in the comments, my lovely Instagram people, and indeed anywhere else if you are an Insta fan. I've been on Instagram since pre-Meta, okay? So I've been on Instagram back in the days when there wasn't a selfie in sight where you took pictures of your dinner. And I used to be like, wow, there's people in Japan. Wow, that's what they eat for dinner. That's amazing. And it was a real, literally Instagram. It was literally, this is what I'm doing right now in this moment. I'm taking a picture of it. I'm sharing it, right? And what used to happen then, and I'm sure it does still happen now because I do see a lot of scammers there, is that people would take somebody's content and pretend it was their own. So that is not what I'm talking about on LinkedIn. That is not what I'm talking about. It's not like taking somebody's content and pretending it's yours. No. It is sharing somebody else's content with an insight that helps your ideal client understand why it is important for them. And that is why I love it so much. This is why I love LinkedIn so much. So if you're sitting there going, okay, look, I like the idea of LinkedIn. I know my clients are there. I want to sell a high ticket service or program. But I don't have enough followers, or I don't have enough connections, or I'm connected to all the wrong people, right? That's okay. It actually doesn't matter, right? That was me. As much as I had followers and connections, they were all from my old life, old Elaine. Old Elaine who was from Adland, okay? And suddenly I'm starting to work with coaches and service businesses, and I didn't have those contacts anymore. I didn't have those connections. I had to build them. Guess what? I could share other people's content that was relevant for them in addition to my own, and it was equally relevant. And that, imagine just doing that. Imagine just jumping on to LinkedIn right now in a couple of seconds and looking for a piece of content, and probably that you like yourself, right? That's what I love about LinkedIn. So what, like, it's so effortless. Scroll. Oh, what's Chase saying today? This is actually what happened. Either last week or the week before, I was reading something, and Chase, I'm so sorry, but I'm completely going to mispronounce your second name. Chase is an amazing copywriting expert, and we have similar beliefs in terms of showing up as a human everywhere in your life, everywhere in your life. Embrace your humanity, lean into it, right? And he was saying, forget B2C, forget B2B. It's actually H to H or H to H, depending on where you are in the world, right? So human to human. And I was like, boom, yeah, probably some explicitives. Dead right. I'm trying to clean up my language. Dead right, Chase. So I shared it, and I was like, oh my God, Chase and I are aligned. This is such an amazing message. I couldn't agree with it more myself. Please show up as a human in your content. It will make such a difference. 400 odd impressions later, like that took me 2 seconds, you know? So you could do the same. You could do the exact same thing. You don't need to have an amazing amount of followers. You know, this could just be you reaching out into the world. And you could do that once a week and just see how it goes. Isn't that amazing? Isn't that amazing? It is. Now, the only thing that I would say is that it will really help you even further if you've done the work on your profile first, okay? So by all means, keep posting, right? Keep sharing, but try to do a little bit of work on your profile on LinkedIn, because here's the thing. When people Google you, when they search for you online, one of the first things that comes up is your LinkedIn profile, okay? So do the work, and that is covered. I cover that in my LinkedIn to Leads program. I help people to really bottom out in their messaging, to figure that out so that they've got a great headline, great about section, great profile, so that when they start sharing content and they really start growing, that when people are coming back to their profile and checking them out and going, oh, I really want to work with this person, that it all stacks up. Does that make sense? Tell me in the comments if it does. So yeah, I had to share that with you today. I really did. Okay, so I'm going to everywhere. I'll put a link to my LinkedIn to Leads checklist on Instagram. It's going to be in the bio, or in fact, I will actually put it in the story. I will put a link to my LinkedIn to Leads checklist in the story. Watch out for the follow-up email. It comes with a video that will explain each and every step that you take so that you can start taking action today. I hope that was helpful. Let me know in the comments, or please message me and let me know if there's anything else that you'd like me to cover in these mini trainings. What I'm doing at the moment is I'm giving you a taster, a behind the scenes little sneak peek of what I'm doing in LinkedIn to Leads with my clients, because I want you to get the opportunity to have a look and see what's going on behind the scenes, so that you can get an idea of how you can grow your business so easily with LinkedIn. Okay, listen, thank you so much for joining me. Pleasure, Louise, pleasure. And yeah, please don't be afraid to reach out to me. I have a wealth of freebies, as well as just being able to jump on a call and seeing if I can help you. Okay, so ciao for now, everybody. And I will see you soon. Okay, bye.